Hi everyone! Welcome to the Crafty Pixie channel where we do sewing projects, craft projects, and subscription boxes. I am Bee. Whether you are new or old to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. It is wonderful to have you. As this video is being filmed, the channel is at 95 subscribers. I am so close to 100 subscribers. I'm so excited. Thank you all so very much for the support. It's really nice to know that someone is enjoying this. So thank you very much for that. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button below and the notification bell so you know when I upload every Wednesday at 9:15 a.m. Leave a comment in the comment section down below, especially if you are a new subscriber, and give the video a thumbs up. In today's video, we've got kind of a versatile, homemade, beginner-friendly sewing project. It's a wonderful, this one's really large. This is actually used as a desk cover. Laptop sits on it, and it also doubles as the mouse pad right over here in the corner. It works great. It's stiff enough. There's no lag on the mouse or anything like that, so that's really nice. But you can always cut the size down a little bit for this and make it placemats for your table or anything like that. I'm going to be doing some more because my table needs them. But anyway, it's literally 2 pieces of fabric, a little bit of time, some fusible fleece, and you're done. It's really easy. You can round the corners like I did, or you can leave it straight for a nice rectangle. It's great. So let's, without any further ado, let's get some materials and get started. For this project, you're just gonna need a few items. Fabric-wise, it's actually really simple. You're just going to need 2 pieces of cotton fabric cut to the specific width and length that you want, along with fusible fleece that's cut a 1/4 of an inch smaller than the main panel that you're doing, or you can cut it the same size and fuse it the same size. It just makes the seams around the edges a little bit bulkier. For this project in particular, I have cut it 27.5 inches long by 16.5 inches wide. This particular piece is going to finish approximately 27 inches long by 16 inches wide. We're going to be using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance through the whole thing. Now this is going to be a pad that's going to go under a laptop and a mouse, so it's going to double as a mouse pad as well. You can make this any size you want. This is a great pattern also to do placemats. For like the dinner table and everything, if you want to do something themed for the holidays or what have you. And then you're going to need a marking tool, coordinating thread, or as close to coordinating thread as you can get. You're going to need scissors, of course, a rotary cutter, clips or pins. It's always good to have a seam ripper on hand just in case. And then I have this little round object here because I'm going to be rounding the edges. I'm not going to leave it a square, or a rectangle, I should say. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do after we've fused the fusible interfacing to the wrong side of the fabric, you can also do a layer of like SF101 or Decaville if you want this really sturdy. You can do that too. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to make rounded corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the front fabric and the rear fabric wrong sides together. because when that's done, you're going to have right side out and right side out. So you want to make sure that, you know, it's as aligned as possible. And we're going to line these up. Like I said, as aligned as you can. You can do these in 2 separate cuts if you want to, but I'm just going to do it all at once if my rotary cutter is going to cooperate with me. So we're going to take it. Okay, so we're going to take like a bowl or anything that you have that's round, and we're going to line it up so that the edge of the bowl and the edge of the fabric meet on both sides. And then we're just going to draw a mark. And we're going to do this to all 4 sides of the fabric. Once you've done that, you can keep the rounded object in place. It actually helps the rotary cutter. If you don't want to use a rotary cutter, of course you can use scissors. But you're just going to take the rotary cutter, hold down, and you're just going to come around the curve. It's probably not going to cooperate with me. Come around the curve and cut it. Just like that. Try to make it as neat as possible. I mean, you won't see this in the end, but it makes it easier when you're stitching. And then that way you've got a nice curved edge there. See, now we're going to do this to all 4 sides. Okay, so I'm going to finish that and I will be right back. Once your curves are cut, if that is what you choose to do with this particular project, like I said, you can leave it squared or you can cut it, whichever you choose. We're going to take it and we're going to lay it right sides together. And we're going to align it. And then we're just going to pin around the entire edge of the project. Oops. Like so, and then you're gonna want to leave like a 3 or 4 inch opening, either at the top or the bottom of your project, so you're able to turn everything right side out. I'm probably gonna leave it at the top. Literally just pinning it all the way around, making sure that both layers are aligned. And if you are making the curved edges, it shouldn't be too bad. You know, I wouldn't go like full speed when you go around around the curves, but I mean, you'll be fine. You don't have to go super slow or anything like that. Okay, and then right up here, I'm gonna leave it like right here. You can eyeball it. You don't have to measure it if you don't want to. Okay, and then we're going to take this over to the sewing machine, and with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, we're going to sew around the entire exterior. If you want, before you sew both pieces together, if you want to do some quilting along the side with the fusible fleece, you can do that. It adds a little bit of extra dimension. But since this is going to be used partially as a mouse pad, I'm going to leave it as flat as possible so that there isn't any issues with the mouse. So we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the entire exterior. Make sure you back stitch really well at the beginning and the end of these stitches, because you're going to be turning everything right side out. So I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine, do that, and I'll be right back. All right, with that done, this is what you will be looking at. It's a great little curved rectangle. Next, what we're going to do is just around, if you are doing the curved edges, just around the curve, just snip into the seam allowance just a little bit. Do not cut your stitches, but you just want to do this so that when we're turning everything right side out, we're making it as neat as possible. All right, just like that. And then we're going to turn everything right side out. You may need some kind of turning tool for like your seams and everything. So I've got this little seam turner. And then we're just going to come to our opening, reach our hand in, and slowly pull everything out. Be careful because you've got the fusible fleece and stuff, and there's a lot of fabric here, so you don't want to rip any of the fabric or the stitches that you've done. So like that, and then come to those curves and you push them out as much as you can. If you need the assistance of the turning tool, by all means, use it. It's what they're there for. Alright, so we're just smoothing everything out. There we go. Alright, now when you get over and you're working on the seams, make sure they're nice and even so the back fabric is in the back and the front is in the front, and you're not curving over to the other side or anything like that. Turn out your seams if you need them to be turned a little bit, just like that. All right, you are almost done. So you can take this over to the sewing machine and give it a nice press. It makes top stitching easier for you. And then you can also press when you're turning this in. So basically, you're gonna put your fingers into the hole and pull just a little bit. It's going to naturally want to curve because you already have the stitches in there. So you're just gonna come through, make sure everything is nice and aligned and turned. And you're just gonna clip right on through. And then when you are at the iron, if you're gonna press everything before you top stitch it, it's a great idea to press this as well. It's going to help it keep its shape for when you push it through the sewing machine. All right, so just like that. And then what you're going to do after it's pressed is we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, you're just going to run along the entire outer edge, back stitch at the beginning and in the end, of course. And then if you want to have like a double top stitch, you can also go 1/8 of an inch from the previous top stitch that you did and go around everything again. You don't have to, but it, you know, it adds a little something to it. You can get really, really creative with this when you are making like the placemats and everything, since this is going to be completely covered by a laptop and by a mouse. You're not going to really see it all that much. It's just going to help things not shift too much on the desk. It gives you a little bit of cushion and everything there. So I'm going to take this to the iron it, and then do the top stitching, and I'll be back. And voila! With a final press with the iron after the top stitching, you are done. Isn't this really cute? This is going to be very functional. I can't wait to give it to him. All right, well, leave a comment in the comment section down below, hit the subscription button and the notification bell, and give the video a thumbs up. Until next time, see ya!